In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what I call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the host, gatekeeper of this program, known on social media. Wherever you may find me, I am known as the Mighty One, Angel Snub 7. I am also your brother and hopefully your friend, Taalik Ibn'rad. Of course, I would like to thank all of those who have donated to my medical fundraiser. I thank you so much. I want to send a shout out to my little grandnieces for their contribution to show thank you for your donations and helping your brother during this dire time of need. Much appreciated. Also, I thank you for supporting our sister Noah Levine's book, God is on Trial. Thank you so much. I just want to make a short commentary because I'm having a slight problem trying to get some Z's, and I do need to get up in the morning. So maybe if I, excuse me, maybe if I do this quick commentary, it'll help me, get those Z's that I need. Okay. I was just thinking this. And I like to compare my personal incarceration with our incarceration in this society going on 500 years. Because basically, it's sort of the same struggle, being incarcerated physically, your own personal struggle trying to get out from a jail, and our incarceration as far as we being a group, a so-called people in this nation, trapped within the jail of this civilization or society, given privileges, given the illusion of freedom, but we are not free. Because if we were free, then we would be part of the lawmaking process, the judicial process, whereas we would be making laws that others obey, and it is enforced. But we make no laws and policy. We are the law abiders. We obey the law and the policy others make that we don't even participate. And that is not the actions, or that's not what you see in somebody that is supposed to be free. If we are free, if we are part of this nation, then we should also be part of the, hey, how you doing, Soul Brother 85? We should also be part of the lawmaking process, the judicial system. This is one of the reasons why we suffer so much high imprisonment, high incarceration, because all the laws are designed by those who don't particularly care too much for us. And they blame us for a lot of their problems in this society. So let us incarcerate, let us imprison these people we don't like, these troublemakers. And that's what you see done day in and day out. And why waste time with jail and we can just murder them on the street? Let's do a little bit of some of that. We can give the family a few dollars. They'll be happy. Don't worry about the money. They're going to give that money right back to us. So it's still a freebie. We can kill these Pharaoh slaves at will. So the family of Breonna Taylor was awarded $12 million, and Trayvon Martin family, all their monetary awards, and the sister, I forgot what her name was, in Chicago that was murdered by police, and all over the country, these families get all these monetary awards. And see, these people know, since they control everything, produce everything, all that monetary award, they're going to put that money in Caucasian banks, and they're going to buy cars that roll off the assembly line of white folks, and the list goes on. And so it's all a joke. It's all a joke. If killing a soul brother and sister, harassing a soul brother and sister, if it really hurt them in the pocket, if it really did damage, you would see that they will tighten up their belt to do everything they can to prevent it, because it's causing them harm. But it's not causing them harm when they're giving monetary awards to people who don't produce nothing for themselves. So the furniture, the house, the wood, the pencil, the water, the electricity, they paying it all right back to the same people who murdered their loved one. And you happy because you got $12 million to give right back to them. And you not going to build, and they know these people getting this money not going to make no attempt to do nothing to produce for themselves. So they don't mind you playing basketball and making millions of dollars. They don't care you're not going to do anything for yourself. You're going to give the money, your billions or whatever you got, going right back to your oppressor, and you do it with a smile. That's not what I'm talking about tonight. I want to talk about this incarceration. This comparison of my incarceration, my personal incarceration, with our incarceration, imprisonment. I want to make this point. So I lay in this mental facility, forensic mental facility, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and the years keep going by. I refuse to play their game and confess to some crime I did not do, and confess that I have a mental illness that I do not have. And so, if I do not do these things, it is inevitable that I be locked up for the rest of my life. That is the plan. The plan, if I do not bow down to these lies, is that I will be locked down for the rest of my life. I will never see freedom again. And I was told, it is impossible for you to leave this place without our approval. I want to say that again. I was told it is impossible to leave this place without my approval, without our approval. Twin in the house. Peace and respect, you brother. Thank you. Thank y'all for being here tonight. So, I languished in this place for years. And I felt like the fictional Jesus of the Bible when they took the Christ and placed him on these pieces of wood, this crucifix. And the Jesus, it's clear that the Jesus didn't think he would be suffering like this, because he looked unto the heavens and he screamed, or he thought, trying to communicate with his father, and he said, my God, why have thou forsaken me? He had no idea that he would be in this position. Where are you, my father? Why are you allowing this to happen? And this is how I felt, being crucified unjustly for years. Here I am going on 10 years suffering in this place. Had I pled just guilty, the ultimate sentence was between 3 to 5 years. But they lied to me. They never told me the maximum to this crime, even if I was guilty, was 3 to 5. And then, of course, with good behavior, you're looking at maybe 2, if not 1.5, and get probation. They lied and kept information from me to leave me no choice. And there were certain circumstances beyond my control. They left me no choice but to, my only option really was to plead this insanity garbage. These people are demons. These people are, we're dealing with wicked people. We're dealing with demons here. Heartless, emotion, non-compassion. They're like wild animals. And the only thing, because of their low functioning ability, you have no choice when dealing with a wild animal. You have to use force. And upon our observation living in this society, you really cannot communicate with these people. You have to burn down a building. You have to shoot a police officer. You got to do something. That's the only way they listen to you. When you try to talk to them like a civilized person, they don't listen. They laugh at you. And they take your weakness for kindness. That's what they do. I live with these people. I live with this mindset for 10 years. I know exactly who I'm dealing with. They love violence. Our problem is we're not in a position to go straight up with them. That would not be very wise. Not because you're a coward, because you're just not in that position to try something like that physically with these people. And they yearn for blood. Those of us who have been around a little while, you see these American people, when the thought of war is in the air, they ready to go. Send the soldiers. They want to hear about people getting blown up and the violence and killing babies and dropping bombs and send the drones and blow people up. They love it. Exactly so, brother 85. They want to use their weapons of war. They spend the majority of the budget of this country is investment in weapons of mass destruction. How long are you going to have these weapons of mass destruction and you don't even use it? So we got to use it. So we're going to have to manufacture a war. We got to do something with this stuff. During World War II, you do know that they did not have to drop those bombs on those Japanese cities. The Japanese people had already surrendered. But those planes with those bombs was already in position to drop those bombs. And President Truman gave the order, drop them. And the Japanese had already surrendered. And this is according to a documentary that I saw on the Discovery Channel. I did not read this in a book. Yes, it was horrible. It was a very terrible. These people was just extinguished, blown into nothing in seconds. And then the horror of those who did survive, suffering all types of radiation poisoning and whatever. It took years and years, and I don't believe that the Japanese really have recovered from all that radiation exposure. And the Japanese was forced to submit to sign this bull doo-doo treaty with the United States. They cannot have a military. They really can't do nothing. No matter what the United States do, they really can't rise up because of the treaty that was signed, which is a bunch of bull. These Peckerwoods break their words and treaties all the time. Those people in Japan should tear that treaty up, do what you gotta do, because we're not going for it no more. That was an evil and wicked thing that the United States done, because they actually wanted to see what would happen if you drop these bombs in real time. And if we cannot use these weapons on foreign soil, maybe we can send the National Guard and the military into the black neighborhood and get something going. This is the thinking. We are living with our enemies. We're thinking we're living with those who don't care nothing about us. And some of you drive pretty cars and you got degrees on the wall, and when they kill us in the street, you don't understand why. Because you live in some type of delusion world. I have a friend of mine who is running for the state office to be a state senator in Georgia. And he has the mindset, he's a good brother, but he has the mindset like he's an equal in this nation. He's some type of patriarch. He has a delusionary view of living in America. Very comfortable person, make decent money. He got his white friends and all this kind of good stuff. And he think he's part of the political machine and all. Technical difficulties. So many of us comfortable. And see, that's the problem that we have, is we are comfortable in this oppression. Even these black power folks, all these folks that talk separation, it's nothing but talk. They're comfortable. YouTube, they love Facebook. They love being able to go to the store and buy what they want, go to Walmart. They're comfortable in this. They love the Lakers won the basketball game and sport and play, and they drink and get drunk and get high and watch pornography all 24 hours a day to the strip clubs. The Pharaoh slaves. They're not interested. And see, that's the reason why you're not liberated. It's not because of the white man. It's because of you. You're comfortable living in jail. And see, when I was locked up, it's something called becoming institutionalized, where they lock you up in a cage and it becomes your way of life. It's all that you know. Now, look at us. We was born in the cage. You have no idea of what freedom is. You talk about it. I want to be free. I want to be liberated. But you don't know what it is. You never been there. We was born in the prison. We never was born. We don't have no idea of what it is to live outside of prison. We've always lived with our enemy. There never was a time that we never lived with the enemy, these races. Only our ancestors understand freedom. Many of them lived a free life prior to the Europeans. But us, going back 400, 500, almost 500 years, we don't know nothing about no freedom. These people come to me talk about my ancestors wasn't no slave. My ancestors wasn't no slave. They was free people in America. How? What laws did they make? What policies did they make? They was not free. They was just allowed to roam, have privileges. Like you have some dogs locked up in the house. They never go outside, always in the house. Then you have some dogs, you let them roam your property. But they don't leave, they come right back home. That's not freedom. Freedom is leaving your property, never see your happy ass again. That's freedom. No matter how much money we make, you get your passport and you bring your ass back home. Snoop Dogg, Louis Farrakhan, Oprah Winfrey, they get these passports, go all around the world, but they come back home to the cage. Because that's all that they know. Praise be to Allah. The Muslims keep talking about Mecca and all that. They don't want to go live there. They go there, do their salats, walk around the Kaaba, bring their ass back to the United States. Even Malcolm X, this is all that they knew. They talk all that separation stuff. You need to leave America or whatever. They have the power. They've gone around the earth and bring their happy slave ass right back here. Because this all they know is the cage, incarceration. That's all that they know. And it's easy to become institutionalized. Here I am. I'm locked up. And it's getting to the point where I don't mind being locked up no more. That's being institutionalized. So I'm institutionalized double, because I'm institutionalized when I was a free person, locked up in this cage, and I'm institutionalized double. Now I'm a cage. I'm locked up in a cage within a cage, and becoming comfortable in double incarceration, double imprisonment. There are people in prison right now. If you told them you're a free man tomorrow, they would get upset. They don't want to come back out into the so-called free world. Because now prison life is all they know. They're comfortable. I saw people, when I was locked up, they actually almost cried. I don't want to leave. Well, it's time for you to go. No, I don't want to leave. I saw this man almost break down. He was crying. He said, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that free world. That scares me. I got my friends. I get 3 meals a day. I'm cool. I don't need to go back out there. And they do things, even if they have to kill somebody, so they can stay in jail. This is the same situation that we're in. We are comfortable. We are comfortable in our oppression. And it's not our fault, because we don't know what freedom is. We've never experienced it. We was born in jail. But see, in my personal struggle, since I was not born in this jail, I understood that there's a better place, that there's a better freedom than this box that I'm in. So I had to strive hard to get out of that place because it's easy. I mean, I had access to women, 3 meals a day. I'm comfortable. I play basketball every day. You know, just an easy, comfortable. I didn't have to pay no bills. It was just a very comfortable spot. I got along with everybody. I was comfortable, getting comfortable. But I knew I had to get out of here because I don't belong here. I have something else better I can do. My potential is greater. This place cannot feed my potential. I got to get out of here. But the only way I could get out of there, I had to get angry. Just like Malcolm X said, if you want to leave your, change your condition, you have to get angry. And you have to stay angry. But we don't stay angry because we're comfortable. You know, we got lots of bean pie to eat and bean soup, and we wear bow ties and we put on these costumes. I'm a Hebrew Israelite, and you go to the store. I'm a vegan. You get to eat fancy food, and you can be a vegan and a fruitarian and, you know, all these types of things. When you are at war, when you are fighting, you got to eat whatever you can get your hands on to survive and eat bugs and turtles, whatever it is. You at war, you fighting. You trying to survive. You can't be, only a comfortable person can be a vegetarian and a fruitarian and all this fancy diets that we get because you're not at war. You're comfortable in your oppression. Ask any soldier at war, can they be a fruitarian and a vegetarian and eat 1 meal a day and all this fancy, comfortable stuff? That you cannot do that when you are at war, when you are fighting an oppressor, when you are being in rebellion against those who got you oppressed. We're comfortable. That's why we're making no real effort to be liberated from this place, from these people. You go out and march, burn some buildings down or whatever, and act a fool. Then you go home to about what's for supper. What's playing at the movies? Did LeBron James win the basketball? After you do all that, go home and get you some weed to smoke, something to drink. Those who are in rebellion, those who are really striving against their oppression, this is every day. You fighting every day. It's protests and march. It's bombing. It's tearing stuff up every day. Fill the jails. Fill the prisons. Overload these places. You can't put the whole 40 million in a jail. You can't put the whole 40 million in a mental institution. They can't do it. They have to bow down. What do y'all want to make this, to stop this? But see, you're comfortable. You're not willing to sacrifice. You're not willing to eat beans every day and cornbread every day. Go without a meal for days and fight for yours. You're not willing to do that. We are beasts, suffering heart attacks because you're fat and lazy. Big old bellies, drinking beer all day. Comfortable, feral slaves, wandering the master's property. You don't deserve to be free. You deserve everything that these suckers put on you. You're not willing to fight for your own. Fight for yourself. I was in the same position. I understand what's going on because I was incarcerated. I understand what's going on. I lived this personally. I had to make a choice. Are you going to be a comfortable feral slave, or are you going to fight for yours? I decided to fight for mine. And they punished me. And they punished me for fighting. Took my privileges away. They try to make things hard on me as they could. And I took it. Bring it. I'm ready for you. Take my privileges away. Keep threatening me. Do what you got to do, and I'm going to do what I got to do. And they put the pressure on me. It's already hard to live in that place, and they're going to make it even worse. So bring it. They did not break me. They did not tear me down. I stayed angry. Matter of fact, I'm like the Incredible Hulk. The more angry, the more angry I get, the more powerful I get. Bring it. It's a challenge. I want to see if you can break me. You pieces of trash, you garbage, you demon. And they saw they couldn't break me. They tried everything they could. But see, at the same time, I'm learning. I'm finding ways to get out of here. But it's a struggle. How many days did I sit in my room? And I'm not going to lie to you. How many days did I sit in my room and I cried like a baby? It's just me. There's no God. My family cannot help me. It's just little old me. I'm fighting the state of Missouri by myself. And I sit at the window and I watch the so-called free people walk up and down the street. And tears come out my eyes. Why has this happened to me? And I am told every day, you're going to die here. And that place had a graveyard. They don't use it anymore. But they got a graveyard. And those Negroes used to joke with me all the time. That's where you're going to be. They told me it is impossible. I want us to concentrate on the word impossible. Without their approval, I would die there. They told me nobody for 100 years ever was released without their approval. It is impossible. That's what I was told. Now, what do you hear among us in the soul community from many of our brothers and sisters? You will hear them say, I'm done with black people. Black people will never unite. Black people will always hate each other. Black people will never liberate themselves because we become frustrated due to the situation. I understand your frustration. I lived it. I had to go through it by myself. Here I am. I don't see no light. I'm having suicidal thoughts because I'd be damned if I'm going to live in this place the rest of my life. I'd rather commit suicide. So I had to really give deep thoughts. And committing suicide is not an easy thing because it's natural for you to want to live. So I thought many nights, how am I going to commit suicide? I'm not going to live in this place for the rest of my life. I'd rather be dead. So I'm thinking about suicide. I'm in a hopeless situation. So when I hear brothers and sisters talk about black people would never do this and black folks would never do that, and it's frustrating. I understand your feelings because I live those feelings personally. And you feel alone. And I was alone. My family could not help me. Nobody came to my aid. I was on my own. The only thing that could save me was, could I do the impossible? Because that's what I was told. I was told that it is impossible for me to get my freedom without their approval. So either I need to do what is required of me, or just accept my fate. I'm going to die in this place. So there was a time I just decided I was going to die. This is it. This is how I leave the earth. I'm a dead man. I had to accept my fate because I refuse to bow down to their lies. I'm not going to say that I committed a crime. I'm not going to say that I'm I'm not going to do those things to help them paint me as criminally insane. I'm not going to help you do that. You tell that lie on your own. You're not going to get my help. So at that point in time, it was time for me to die. Because there was no other way out. There was no other patients, no other clients in the facility where we could we could vibe off each other. Everybody else was comfortable slaves. They did the routine. Some of them believed they was getting helped. They were institutionalized. Some of these men was locked up since they were 17, 18 years old, and now they're in their 50s. A lot of them addicted to drugs. They can't function no more. They addicted to drugs and alcohol. See, I never had those problems. It was Muslims in the mental institution, talking about praise be to Allah for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. There was Moors. There was Hebrew Israelites. All of them. All these types. There was Kemetic folks. All these people was in that mental institution with me. And all of them could not get out. Their gods could not save them from drug addiction. Could not get them out of there. Alcohol addiction, drug addiction. Some of them was pedophiles. Some of them was murderers. And their gods and all their beliefs did nothing for them. My God, when I first got locked up, I believed in Allah, Master Farad Muhammad. Master Farad Muhammad didn't do a damn thing for me. So I have no idea. I had to accept my fate. How am I, with no help, with nothing, how am I going to do the impossible with no kind of help at all? I'm a dead man. So I just accepted my fate and had to decide when I was going to commit suicide. But I'm not a believer in God, but I do carry those teachings. And it says in the Quran that they plan, but Allah plans, and Allah is the best of planners. See, I am Allah. And we are taught that. We are Allah. We are God. So they are planning, and I am God. And I am the best of planners. But in this situation, I have no idea what plan. I have no idea of what I need to do. But I'm not going to allow myself to continue to go into this deep depression. I got to have faith in myself. I don't know how, but I'm going to get the job done. And it's the same thinking process when it comes to the Mississippi campaign. I don't know exactly how it's going to get done, but it's going to get done. I'm going to play it by ear. So I'm playing this by ear. Stop thinking about death. Because if I commit suicide, they win. If I allow them to see me frustrated and helpless and whatever, they win. I don't want them to win. Committing suicide allows them to win. I'm not going to let them win. Have faith in myself. Turn to my brain. Use your brain for a change. Look around you. Think about what's going on. Find the path. Oh Allah, guide me to the right path. That's what we say in Islam. Who is Allah? I am Allah. Guide myself to the right path. I had to change my way of thinking. I had to get rid of all that negativity, all that death thinking, and bring myself back to life. So I started searching. Hold on to my position and start watching and observing. And pretty soon, the light starts shining through. Because I helped a Caucasian person. I helped him with his work, his legal work, because he couldn't read and he couldn't write. And he gave me this paperwork to help him with because he knew I was good at that, reading and writing. What is this? He told me my lawyer gave this to me. Now, this lawyer knows this man does not have the mental capacity to learn nothing about anything, legal. He did it for a joke. But that was the beginning of something good for me by helping him with this. I'm like, what is this? He could not comprehend the legal paperwork, but I could. And I was wondering, can I apply this to myself? I couldn't apply it to myself because he and I was in two different situations, but it gave me an idea of what I need to do. And then I helped other people. And the more I helped other people, I was helping myself. And I did not care whether they was black or white, male or female or whatever. And then I began to what's the word I'm looking for? Tap the minds of my enemies. Those doctors and other people in there. I didn't like them, but they had knowledge that I needed. So I understand to a certain point when Farrakhan talks about Scientology, he just wants the knowledge of Dianetics or whatever. I understand that. Yeah, soul brother, that old song, I knew a change was going to come because I had faith in myself. I'm not a weak person. I'm not a strong person. I'm a strong person. Always have been. I'm not a weak person. And I have faith in myself, in my abilities. And in this situation, you need strong reading and writing skills. Now, I don't have the type of skills because I didn't go to college. I don't know how to read and write on the level of, some college student. But what I know, I still can give you a run for the money. I can throw down with what I know. And I'm able to comprehend what I read. So what's the sense of reading things you can't comprehend? So I'm able to comprehend very well, and I can read and I can write very well. Those always have been my strong points. And this is what I needed in order to help me get out of this situation. And so I went to the library and I got those law books. And I began to educate myself. I got information from the Church of Scientology. They have a offshoot of the Church of Scientology called the Commissioned Citizens on Human Rights. These were the only people that really tried to help me. The Citizens Commission on Human Rights. They are a sub-organization of the Church of Scientology, and they teach and they preach against psychiatry. So I used their information, and I went to the library and began to study the law based upon the paperwork that I got from the people I was helping. And I slowly began to learn what I need to do in order to free myself. And now I could see the light start to come. And I could hear the horn. Who was that? Joshua in the Bible? Start blowing the horn and the walls start tumbling down. I could hear the horn start blowing. Oh man. See, you got to have the faith in yourself. And you got to be serious about it. And you got to stay angry all the time. Just like Malcolm. I had to stay angry all the time. I had to have faith in myself. And the light starts shining through, the walls start tumbling down, and this is what your enemy will do. They will come to you with that negative stuff. Well, it's still not working, because it wasn't. In the beginning, it wasn't working. But I could see something was happening. That's right. That's right, soul brother. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I kept trying. I kept failing. Did you hear what I said? I kept trying. I kept failing. And when you fail, those who are your enemies are going to shove it down your throat. You see, it ain't working. That's a waste of time. Look, boy, why don't you just confess that you committed a crime, confess that you got a mental illness, and we'll let you out of here. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm going to stay on the right path that God, who is myself, put me on. And so to make a long story short, I stayed on the path. I made a video. I don't know if many of you watched it or not. When, hey, what's up there, MD20? Glad to see you in the house, my brother. I posted a video talking about when I filed a restraining order against these people. That never was done to them. In their whole 100 years, nobody ever filed a restraining order against these demons. Never. First time for everything. And then they backed off me once and for all. And you can see the paperwork and see what that judge actually determined. If you go to my Reality's Temple on Earth Facebook page, in the photo section, you will see I posted the paperwork so you can see for yourself what the judge, the judge determination and how his view of the case went. That was the beginning of the end for them. I started filing lawsuits against them, everybody. I filed lawsuits against the cooks, the housekeepers, the security people. I was filing lawsuits against everybody. I kept them in the courthouse. It got to the point where they said, I'm sick of messing with this guy. If the judge let him go, let him go. Stop arguing about it. But you know, these bastards, the top guy, we had to sit in court for 6-7 hours because he did everything he could to try to keep me locked up. And the judge basically was telling this idiot, I'm getting ready to let this man go. But see, that's who you're dealing with. These people here are very arrogant. They have no compassion, no empathy. He did not want the world to see him lose like this. But it happened. And the judge told me, you're a free man. And when the judge told me I was a free man, that judge told them, this man has just done the impossible. I've done the impossible. So don't ever think that you can't do the impossible. It took me 10 years, but I've done the impossible. It took me 10 years, but I dealt a very serious blow to these bastards. I used your law, your policies against you. And without your approval, I still got what I wanted. And I use you. And I use you. So, brothers and sisters in this nation, you can do the impossible once you get serious about your liberation. It's frustrating and it's disappointing, and you are going to hurt. You are going to suffer because your enemies is going to put more and more pressure on you. They're going to take more from you. You're going to have to be man and woman enough to deal with it. I deserve to be free right now. I deserve, and I worked hard, and I deserved it. I earned the right to talk to you tonight. God did not do it. If God had anything to do with it, I would give God the credit. God was nowhere around. I give myself the credit. My ability to use my brain, to think smart, like I'm playing checkers, and I knew how far I could go, and I knew when to back off. How you gonna get tough with somebody? You bringing a BB gun to a gunfight, a pea shooter to a gunfight. That's not what's happening. So we know we cannot deal with these people straight on. You're gonna have to be smart. You're gonna have to be flexible. These Pan-African, black conscious, blackity black type of teachings, they make your mind rigid. And the enemy knows how you think because you're rigid in your mind. They have been dealing with that type of mindset ever since the 1960s. They know how you think. They know what you're going to do. They know how you're going to go. This is why, just like Brother Talib said, this is why they don't mind all this blackity black, Pan-African, Kemetic nation of Islam, more Kemetic. That's why they don't mind you on YouTube and Facebook and all like that, because they're not no threat. The only thing they have to do, if you do start getting a little wild, is put the leadership in jail or kill them, and it's over. That's not what the Reality's Temple is about. The Reality's Temple is about making everybody leaders. So if I die or if I'm incarcerated, you keep pushing forward. You know what to do. You know where to go. You don't need me at all. It's also good that you know what you need to do, because sometimes your leadership sell you out. They betray you. So if your leadership betray you, or your leadership is incarcerated, or they die a natural death, you need to know what you need to do and keep pushing. There was a song by one of the former Temptations. I forgot which one it was. I think it was Eddie Kendricks. He said, "Keep on trucking, baby. Keep on trucking. You got to keep trucking." Like myself and Brother MD, what we do, you got to keep trucking, baby. We know when you're in the trucking business, you can't depend on nobody else. You got to know where you got to go and how to get there. You can't depend on your dispatcher. You can't depend on nobody except yourself. You got to know how to get there. You can't even depend on your GPS because sometimes it can be wrong. You got to use common sense. Don't you know some people are so stupid? They follow these GPS. It tells you clearly on GPS. The GPS is just an assistant. Now, if your GPS is telling you to make a right turn, especially if you're driving these big rigs, now you're looking at the right turn, you see this street is too small for your truck, you see that it's not right. I don't care what that GPS says, your eyes telling you don't go down that street. But I have seen truck drivers following the GPS. They see this street cannot handle that. You know, you could probably get in there with your truck, but you damn sure ain't coming back out, and they do it. You're gonna believe the GPS, but ignore your eyes. The GPS is just something to help you. And I would give the GPS credit. Most of the time, it's on point. But then there are times where that GPS is a big mess. You're going to have to figure it out yourself. And that's the skill that we lack. We want to depend on Farrakhan and dead people, Malcolm and Marcus Garvey, and we don't want to do nothing for ourselves. We don't want to use our own brain. I had to learn how to use my brain. I was just like everybody else. Depend on God. Depend on lawyers. I had to become my own lawyer. I had to become my own God. I had to do all that myself. But you know something? God did give you a brain. Why don't you use it sometime? And figure things out. The reason why we living so comfortable the way we live, because somebody sit around, how can I wash clothes easier? How can I plow this field easier? How can I do these things easier? Somebody had to sit around and think how I'm going to get comfortable by using their brain. The majority of people on the earth, if it was up to the majority of the people on earth who don't use their brain, we still would be hunters and gatherers right now. Which wouldn't really be bad because you would be living a more natural type of lifestyle. And you don't have to pay no bills. Electric bill, gas bill, all these bills that we pay. You hunters and gatherers. Just go out into the forest, get your fruits and your vegetables and hunt you a deer or whatever and you're not dependent on Walmart and these grocery stores, and you dependent upon yourself. Civilization, living this civilized life, took all your natural independence away. Now, you can't even get a drink of water yourself. You got to pay the water company. You can wait for it to rain, save you some water in some barrels or something. That's what you can do. Civilization took all natural independence away. And then it caused us to overpopulate the land, and now we're sitting on top of each other, and there's never-ending wars over resources. And there are people who just want to dominate folks for no reason, exploit women and children and animals. This is what civilization has caused. There's nothing civil about civilization. Civilization was created due to murder and wars, exploitation, slavery. That's civilization. You don't hear about all this stuff when you talk about hunters and gatherers. You don't hear nothing. You don't hear about pedophilia and homosexuality and drunkenness. You don't hear all about those type of things until the creation of what we call civilization. Those who were hunters and gatherers, I have never read and never heard those type of things happening among hunters and gatherers. Civilization isn't good. It put us in the position that we're in right now. Civilization created racism and sexism and all these isms that we suffer from. It brought us good technology, but also the technology is poison. The cars and trucks that we drive spit poison put in the air, and poison the water. And then you got these radio waves because of electricity, all these type of things. Technology has a good side and a bad side. And really, it's so bad, it's not really worth it. The society, the people are filled with cancers because of these poisons, these mercury and arsenic is in the water, and then these people taking all these different drugs. Many of these people dispose of these psychiatric medicines in the toilet, and the medicines, these psycho drugs are going into the water system. These water systems are designed to get rid of certain bacteria, but they're not designed to clean up psycho medicines and these other different kinds of medications these people are throwing down into the toilets, into the system. And of course, you're urinating, and those medicines are in your urine and going into the water supply, and the water is recycled. The water is constantly recycled. There is no new water that comes from the planet. We're using the same water over and over again. And you filtering it and trying to purify and recycling it. It's not getting everything. And over time, we are getting this stuff. And so we filled with cancers and all kinds of sicknesses. And there is some foolishness about, and people don't believe in overpopulation. The earth is overpopulated. It shouldn't be this many human beings on the planet. It's too many. That's just the bottom line. So that means more doo-doo. That means more urine, more poison into the atmosphere. We need all these humans on the planet for what? What is your purpose? You don't do nothing for nature. There's no animal that prey on you to eat you up, to put you back into the system of the natural world. The only thing you do is take, you don't give. What is the purpose of having all these human beings? I want a family. Family to do what? A long time ago, when we was hunters and gatherers and lived an agricultural type lifestyle, the purpose of having these large families basically was so that you can get the labor so that you could survive, make farm the land and people to go out and hunt and fight off wild animals or whatever. The people on the planet right now, we useless. We don't serve no purpose having all these people on the planet. And like I said, you take, but you're not giving back to the planet. So all this needs to be changed around. And sooner or later, all this is going to come to a head. It's got to come to a head. and it's not going to be beautiful. So what position, to bring to my conclusion, what position is the so-called Negro going to be in when it comes to a head? Are you going to go extinct, or are you going to be a survivor being able to do the impossible? Right now, if everything came to a head, we're done. We have no power. We have nothing. We're done. And maybe that's a good thing because we shouldn't even exist anyway. The so-called Negro is an admixture people created by chattel slavery. We shouldn't exist anyway. We're not part of the natural world. We are a consequence of chattel slavery. We are not our ancestors. Our ancestors, they were part of the natural world and they was conquered. We was born after they was conquered. We was in the jail. They never was in the jail to begin with. We was born in the jail. That's right, Soul Brother 85. We are a new people. And this is why, because of our suffering, because of what we've been through, we don't deserve extinction. We deserve to be the #1 forerunners to clean all this damn mess up. And everybody follow our lead. Because we're a little bit of everything. We are the rainbow. After a storm comes the rainbow. We are that rainbow. They already created the storm and the damages. But after the storm and the damage comes the rainbow. And the rainbow represents a new beginning. And the rainbow represents a different spectrum of different colors. And that's what we are. Because we are a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Whatever was good in the people, that's who we are. Whatever was bad, we already been through the bad. Now the only thing we have to do is express the good by going into our brain and getting on the right path. And I'm telling you, the Mississippi campaign is more than just a plan to bring us stability, a safe haven, and economic power. It's the beginning of the changing of the world to make this earth the heaven talked about in the Bible. Heaven on earth. We are the angels. We are the ones that can get this done. Because of our experience, because of where we come from. We come from hell. And since we know what hell is, we was born in it, we are product of it. Who better to bring it to heaven than we, the so-called Negro in America? If understood properly, the Bible and Quran, they are on time as far as this is concerned. But we look at it in a spooky way, and gods and demons and all kind of spooky. It's not spooky. It can be done. If I can do the impossible, because I did not say that. They told me, without our approval, it is impossible. They told me, we've been here 100 years. Without our approval, it has never been done. So I broke that. They can't say that no more. After 100 years, somebody finally got out without your approval. Somebody done the impossible. But you have to also understand, there was nothing wrong with me. I'm not mentally ill. There was nothing wrong with me. I did not suffer from drug addiction. There's nothing was wrong with my mind. Except I was rigid in thought. My mind was influenced by all that blackity black Nation of Islam type of stuff. I didn't know no better. But once that was gone, I was able to start thinking on my own. If I was still thinking Nation of Islam, that black conscious type thinking, I'd still be locked up to this day. Because it's rigid. It's rigid. It's not flexible. It really does not allow. Your thinking ability is limited. And most of all, you depending on God to help you. And clearly God is not going to help me do nothing. So you just lay there and wait. 100 years, 200 years. They've been waiting on Jesus for over 2,000 years, the Christians. The Nation of Islam, those who follow Louis Farrakhan, they've been waiting for Elijah Muhammad to come back since 1975. Pretty soon it will be 2,000 years. They ain't no different than the Christians waiting on Jesus. And y'all keep hollering about Malcolm X, and Malcolm is dead. Marcus Garvey is dead. Dr. King, all these people, they cannot help you. The only one who can help you is yourself. Now, Jesus and Elijah Muhammad, both of them probably on the mother plane. They probably had to stop at one of those Denny's in outer space, to fill up on some stuff. They taking their time, to come and save somebody. Plus, they know if they come here to try to save these Negroes, these white folks gonna shoot the mother plane out the sky. They said, man, we don't want no part of it. Jesus said, I already died once. I ain't gonna die again, messing around trying to save y'all. You crazy? Elijah Muhammad said the same thing. Y'all Negroes on your own. I was happy to get the hell out of there. Shoot, messing with y'all. Because you're really pathetic. And it even says in the scriptures, God helped those who help themselves. Brother Ben X. Brother Ben X basically, he's really on the low. He's not talking like he used to. He's basically concentrating on trying to be a millionaire, all these get-rich-quick type schemes, things of that nature. He's, that's what he's been concentrating on. He's not really talking like he used to. And YouTube took down all the two official pages of the Nation of Islam. YouTube took both of those pages down. So, but it still don't mean nothing because there's plenty Farrakhan out there for everybody. You got Brother Ben X. I haven't heard nothing that Malcolm Flex 10 guy. Malcolm Flex, haven't seen him make videos lately. But you got a lot of people who, that's all they do is make Farrakhan videos all day. But anyway, brothers and sisters, I thought this was just going to be a 20-minute talk, and it's an hour. But I just wanted to come here because I was just thinking about this. Because I know the impossible is possible because I know I've done it. I've done the impossible. And if little old me can do it, all of us with the brain power and the intelligence that we have, I know that we can do the impossible. If we cannot, as a people, as this group, if we cannot do the impossible, we're done. We're done. You're only gonna have two options. Either go extinct, or we're gonna become physically a servant to somebody else. That's your only two options. Just like the coronavirus, things can change overnight that affect our lives. Something in the world, a natural disaster, something so bad. What if a meteorite hit the earth? A meteorite hitting this earth would change the whole environment, change everything on this planet. Many, many people would die. So these lifestyles that we're used to, it's going to change overnight. We need to we need to be prepared. Hold on. We need to be prepared in some kind of way. No. No, soul brother. And plus, I'm not even physically able to do nothing. You know, my condition is pretty bad here. So we need to put ourselves to do the impossible. I truly believe that many people know that the Mississippi campaign is the right thing to do, but they are actually afraid. They are afraid to try. It's scary because they're institutionalized. What if we do this? They're scared to be free. Because if we do the Mississippi campaign and do what we need to do, you can't blame white folks no more. You can't blame the boogeyman no more. You have to do everything yourself. Build your own houses. Grow your own food. Make your own clothes. You're dependent on yourself. And I believe that many of these people really are scared. The Nation of Islam been talking separation almost 100 years. The Nation of Islam was worth $80 million. The Nation of Islam in 1975 was worth $80 million. They never, Elijah Muhammad never tried to separate. Never. I heard that some rich, racist Caucasians in the South offered to give them a whole lot of land for free so they could separate. And Elijah Muhammad turned it down. If you want to separate, and that's what you always talk about, and here is your enemy, because they want you to separate, willing to give you all this land that you can work with, why would you turn it down? There's no strings attached. They say, here's the title, here's the deed, separate the hell away from us. Y'all Negroes go. Get away from us. And they turned it down. Why? Because it's feel-good talk, sound good, but they're not real about theirs. It's nothing but false hopes, false dreams, hyping entertainment. They're not real. Because they're institutionalized. Elijah Muhammad know if he took that deal, his life of the way that he lived, his lavish lifestyle, he can't live that way no more. Because all your resources have to go to your liberation. And it would look funny that here we are in this situation and you living high on the hog and everybody else is working and wearing farm clothes and you trying to live this high. That's not how it works. Everybody got to get in the damn field. Ain't nobody living no lavish lifestyle. But see, that's what all that's about. Living good. Elijah Muhammad, before Malcolm, he wasn't living no lavish lifestyle. But see, once Malcolm got on the scene, and Malcolm was able to get all these followers and all this money start coming in, and he was able to you know, his first time, he went from dirt poor to all this money. You know, it corrupts people. This start changing folks. Same thing happened to Louis Farrakhan. That's right. Now Malcolm he kept Malcolm broke. Malcolm was the reason why he was able to live a lavish lifestyle And Malcolm was always broke. Didn't give Malcolm nothing. Now, if that's the type of relationship and life that y'all want to live, you know, your leadership live all lavish, and you live average, and you doing all the damn work, and your leadership living like that, I mean, that's your business. So, like I say, you get what you earn. The reason why you're living the way that you live is because that's what you want. Freedom is not free. There's a price that you have to pay to be free. There's a price that you have to pay to be liberated. And you're not right now, black power, black first, or whatever you want to call yourself, Pan-African, whatever. Hebrew is like, nobody is willing to pay that price. Only talk about it, not be about it. And so that's why they don't hang around the reality's temple on earth, because we got to be about it. I understand what it takes. A lot of suffering, a lot of sacrifice. And some of us will be incarcerated. Some of us will die in the process. That's the price that you have to pay. And these are not, they'll talk about it, but they're not willing. See, actions speak louder than words. I don't give a damn what you say out of your mouth. Your actions show exactly what you're about. The Nation of Islam, by their actions, wasn't never serious about separation. That's right. You got to pay to play. That's absolutely right. You want to beg these people for reparations, and these people that think that they are American Indians or something like that, they think these people going to have some conscience. Give me my land. They don't give your ass nothing. They had to sacrifice and die to get this land. And they're supposed to just give you the land because you're a native, I'm supposed to be some Native American, and give us our land. I'll give you another ass whooping. That's what I'm going to give you. So none of these people are serious about nothing. Right, we would be the only ones on the front line where everybody... And see, that's what people don't understand. I'm not nobody's savior. I'm not a Messiah. I'm not going on the front line for some people that's not worthy. If I'm going on the front line, all of us going on the front line. And then you got these suckers in the background, you sacrifice and you die, and they get the benefits because, hell, you dead, but you did all the work. Like Dr. King and Malcolm, all of them was on the front line, and people in my family didn't do a damn thing, but they benefit. I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that. We get what we deserve, and you're going to get it. In Vogue, you're wrong on this one. They're going to get it. They're never going to get, no, they're going to get it. They're going to get exactly what they earned. And it makes no difference to me. If you want to be liberated, I'm right there with you. Let us fight. If you want to be a slave, oh well. I would just enjoy being, I would just enjoy being a comfortable slave till I take my last breath. And but I'm not going to do that. I'm not your savior. I'm not God. I'm not a Messiah. I'm none of those things. If you don't think your liberation is worth fighting for, what make you think, why should I do it by myself? Ain't gonna happen. But brothers and sisters, we have the potential. Everything is on your side right now. The whole environment, everything about this whole situation during this time, everything is in your favor right now. The only thing you got to do is take advantage and go for broke. And you will win. You will do the impossible. And we will lead these people to the heaven that they can only talk about in the Quran and the Bible. We can make manifest in reality. With that said, thank you for listening. I think I'm tired enough where I think I can go to sleep now. Thank you for joining me. It's a wonderful thing. I'm so happy to know that I'm not alone in this world. I thank you, Twin and MD and everybody. That was brother Taalik trying to call me. But I'm almost ready to go off the air, and trying to bring him in would interfere with the broadcast, and I have to start all over and be messed up. So I apologize to brother Taalik for that, because I definitely wouldn't mind listening to his words also, bringing to the conversation. So thank you, brothers, for joining me. Thank you for those who are listening, and those who will listen to this broadcast later on. And again, much appreciated. I thank you so much. I mean, you really don't know how much you are helping me out. I just cannot. Thank you so much for helping me with these medical bills. This is, oh, wow. It's beyond words. I thank you so much. My little nieces, thank you. You saw the video that they made, thanking my audience for helping us right now. And again, thank you for your purchase or your future purchase of our Sister Noble's book, God is on Trial. Thank you for supporting this platform. Myself, Sister Tangi, Brother MD, all of us. Thank you everybody for supporting this platform. We are the real deal. We are the real chosen. Y'all know it, we know it. All that other stuff is bull doo-doo, unfortunately. They need to stop playing games and get on the soul train, and let's rock and roll, and let's do the impossible. With that said, thank you for listening. As he always told us, as imparting, our soul brother Don Cornelius, as important, I wish us love, peace, and soul. And we are the 5,000.